there's the idea of the standing of the your seed and your names. Hainu, this means, I'm sorry, Mao inin kasher השמים החדשים וארץ חדש וגוימר עומדים גוימר kein יעמד זרח משמכם. Also, what's a comparison? Say, just like, so too. Just like the new heavens and the new earth are standing, so too will stand your seed, your descendants, and your names. Hainu, this means that the pasuk is saying that the standing of your descendants and your name is like the standing of the heavens, the new heavens and the new earth. This pasuk comes a continuation to the pasuk prior to it, at the beginning of the Haftarah of Shabbos Rosh Chodesh, that says, "השמים kisi," that the heavens are my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Skip the parentheses to the next line. And he analyzes also on the above mentioned Maimer of the Rebbe Rashab. Skip the parentheses again. Mahu kisi v'adoim ragli. What's it mean that Hashem has a throne and he has a footstool? He has no form of a body and he's not a body. Hainu, this means the level of a form of the body that's going on the worlds of Bri Yitzir Asiyah. So he's definitely not on the level of a lower level of Bri Yitzir Asiyah. Ve'eina guf shekoy al olam atzilus. He's not a body that's referring. He's not even on the level of Atzilus. Hashem is even higher in the world of Atzilus. And this, the Tzemach Tzedek explains, skip the brackets, that the Shalah Kodesh asks a question. What is the order that Chazal say he has no form of a body, he has no body? Since he has no form of a body, so for sure, automatically we know that he has no body. He should have said the order in the opposite way. He doesn't have a body, and he doesn't even have the form of a body. And the Tzemach Tzedek explains about this, the guf koyal, a body that's referring to the world of Atzilus, because the world of Atzilus, it's the world of unity. So it's like one body, one entity. It's completely united and joined. The form or the image of a body, is referring to the worlds of Bri Yitzir Asiyah, shenikra kidmuseinu, in the pasuk where it says in Chumash Bereshis that we will make man in our form and in our image. So kidmuseinu means likeness, similar. That biyah is only like the world of Atzilus. It's not as much, it's not the same way like the world of Atzilus. And therefore, since guf, as we mentioned before, goes in Atzilus, and the Musa guf, the image of a body, is referring to Bri Yitzir Asiyah, therefore the order this is, not only is he not a category of an image of the body, which is going on Bri Yitzir Asiyah, alagam in a guf, he's not even the level of the body, the one entity, the unity of Atzilus. Since he neither has the form of a body, which is Bri Yitzir Asiyah, and he has no body, which is the level of Atzilus, so therefore, concluding the question we started asking before, why does he say the heavens are my throne and the earth is my footstool? Second paragraph on the page. The idea behind this is, it's explained in Tanya, the creations of the world was not for the higher worlds. Since they descended from his light. In other words, the way the worlds were part of him before they were created, they were on a much loftier level. So it doesn't make any sense to create for them. Or a different way of putting it is, they're lower than him. Why would he descend to a lower level? That the intention of the creation is this low world. Mashkasa Batanya, what it says in Tanya, the that the higher worlds are a descent from the light of his face. Not only is the world of Atzilus not worthy to, it's not beneficial for Atzilus. It could have been much higher than when it became the world of Atzilus, so it experienced descent. Also the worlds of Bri Yitzir, they also experience a descent. Also the worlds of Bri Yitzir are a descent from the light of his face. The ultimate intention is this world. This low world of Asiyah. The Daf Gesham hi Aliyah, only over there is not a Yerida, but just the opposite. Instead of it being a descent, it's an ascent. Ha'ilui the dirle is bark tachtoinim. There's the advantage and the ascent of, specifically in this world, to have a home down here below. Because only in this world do we have the revelation of Hashem's very essence and being. So why were there all these other worlds created? The reason why these higher worlds were created, whether it's the world of Atzilus or whether it's the world of Biyah, it's for this low world. It's explained the Maimer, the Tamatz also spheres of Chacham B'Olam Atzilus. The reason for emanating the sphere of Chacham in the world of Atzilus, so that there should be the Chachma down here in this world. So therefore, that's what the same idea that we said before, that the reason why the higher worlds were made is to be able to have this world, just like Chachma Atzilus, for example, was created so that we should be able to have the level of Chachma and wisdom in this world. So the Rebbe says that alone is not a good enough example to explain why and how the upper worlds were created for our world. So the Rebbe says 3 lines from the bottom of the page. This is still insufficient. If this low world would have come from the world of Atzilus without any intermediary, in other words, you're saying that the Chachma of Atzilus was created so we should have Chachma in this world. So therefore, that's it. Atzilus and this world. And we didn't need anything between, it wouldn't have worked. If it would have come directly from Atzilus to our world, this world would have been completely nullified. Or another option could have been, it wouldn't have been low. It would have been on the level of the world of Atzilus, which is also not the purpose. Hashem wanted to have a low world. For this reason, there has to be an intermediary between the world of Atzilus and this low world. That's the idea of the worlds of Biyah. Through the worlds of Biyah, the revelation of Atzilus comes down here to our world, like we said before, for example, from Chachma to Atzilus, we're able to have Chachma down here only because we have all the intermediary worlds of Bri, Yitzir, Asiyah in between. Second paragraph. This is what it means, the heavens are my throne, and the earth is my footstool. The option, though he has no image and form of a body, it's not at all on the level of the worlds of Bri, Yitzir, Asiyah, which we said before is in our likeness. And he has no body, meaning he's beyond the level of body. Bechinas Atzilus is beyond the world of Atzilus. Still in all, through the revelation of Atzilus, it's a level that you could point and say this, meaning because godliness is fully revealed in Atzilus. Afterwards, the revelation of the worlds of Biyah, like this, until it comes down even lower, the level of Kacha. Kacha is like the double Chaf, means that it's even lower than like this, Kid Museinu, likeness. Ha'odadar, it's a ray of a ray. Like it's explained in Amarim of Megillas Esther on the Pasuk, And what did they see for this? So he says like this: Shenimshak b'chinas mad shebatzilus, the ma ro al kacha. Atzilus is the level of bittul. Bittul is the shem ma of Hashem. Gam b'chinas kacha shalamaylam mata b'chinas koi. It comes down from the ma of Atzilus all the way into the kacha, like this, which is even lower than the koi likeness. And because of that, because ma da Atzilus comes down into kacha, through that, the infinite light of Hashem comes down in this low world. And the way how it comes down is in a way that it's visible. Like the pasuk says, they had the vision. Like we know that hearing is not as powerful as seeing. So that's how great the revelation is. It's a revelation of sight of the Ohr itself in this world. Until the revelation of Mashiach's time. It'll be specifically in a way of vision, like the pasuk says, that all flesh will see together. And the way how Mashiach will teach Torah and how we will study Torah, Mashiach will be in a way that he will show it to us. He will not teach it to us in the normal way, like it's explained in the Shara Amunah of the Mittler Rebbe. Third paragraph on this page. So that it be able to be the drawing down the revelation of godliness in this world. That's something novel and something new, that the world should be able to have this revelation. One has to open up a channel, the pipeline for this. Like Chazal say, kol haskol is cautious. All beginnings are difficult. Like the common expression used in the Zohar, that Rabbi Ploini opened, instead of saying so-and-so said. Meaning, because the Pirushi Shepasach has Tzinar Amshach B'Nizeh, this person that was quoted in the Zohar, opened up the pipeline, the channel for drawing down this particular concept. Maybe he brings in that mimer of the Rebbe Rashab that we quoted at the beginning. What's explained in Eitz Chaim. Hold on to your Kabbalah hats. Initially, before the worlds existed, the infinite light of Hashem filled all possible space. And afterwards, there was Hashem constricted the infinite light and set it to the sides, like we're soon going to explain, and created an empty space. And afterwards came into being a thin line of divine revelation, in such a way that this line, this kav, is connected in the circle that remained of the infinite light of Hashem. So it's only the top, the beginning of the kav, is connected to the eagle, not the rest of the kav. The rest of the kav is distant. This point is going to be important. The Rebbe Rashab in his Maimer asks about this particular order that Hashem went through, these different steps to be able to create the world. Seemingly we need to understand why it have to be initially the revelation of the infinite light of Hashem to fill all possible space. And afterwards you moved it to the side until you had like this circle. And afterwards you drew down this line. Don't fill up all possible space with the infinite light of Hashem. Initially, when Hashem wants to create the world, just draw down that light, the thin line that's going to be the eventually at the end of the line is going to be our physical world. And he explains, why did Hashem have to move the infinite light on the side? He says, in the infinite light of Hashem, since it was all filled all possible space, There was no top, no bottom. Everything was the same. Through the kav, we created higher and lower, which is very necessary for the grades to decrease and decrease until we can have a very limited, constricted, and hidden godliness in this world. So therefore, the Rebbe asks, and he's quoting the Rebbe Rashab, Im kein eine Moven lama lo nishave l'chatchila akav oizu b'chinas ma'ilo mata. Since the problem is that if the infinite light would have filled all space, so then there would not have been an orderly descent from higher to lower, and that's something that only the kav does. So if so, make the kav initially, don't fill it up with this infinite light. And in that Maimer of the Rebbe Rashab, it's explained in short, so that we should have the capability with our avodah in this world to draw down the infinite light prior to the tzimtzum. So himshech gilui mi'ito yizbarach. So initially, even before the kav, Hashem had to draw down revelation from himself. This revelation was in his very essence. That's what it means, that it filled all possible space. That filling of all possible space with the infinite light was that allows the capability and possibility to afterwards draw down the light of the infinite light that initially filled all this possible space through inspiration down here below. So he says, the Rebbe Rashab says this in short. The Rebbe himself is going to elaborate upon this. We could say the explanation of this is the ultimate purpose and intention of this is that the lights should be drawn down into the vessels. That's the whole idea of how the spheres work, and all creations have a soul and a body, malachim and neshamas, etc. Lights and vessels are two opposites. Lights about revelation, vessels about concealment. Lights are like fire, wants to go upwards. Vessels are like anchors and wants to go downwards. Even more so, not just the purpose of the creation was to draw the lights into the vessels, those lights that are already divided into individual lights and so on, but also the tachlis hakavani lahamshich bekelim. The ultimate purpose is to draw down the vessels, also the infinite light that's prior to the tzimtzum. This should make sense in the natural progression of things, meaning in the spiritual teva, the spiritual nature of things. How can we make sure that according to the spiritual nature of things, even the infinite light of Hashem is able to come down into the vessels down here? Therefore, there has to be in this initially the opening up of a pipeline, of a channel. And what is the channel that opened this up? It's through the infinite light of Hashem that filled all possibility of space. Through this like becomes the nature of things above. Skip the parentheses. The nature of things is that the infinite light of Hashem fills all possible space. Therefore, once the nature of things is that it could fill all possible space, therefore, even after the light was moved to the sides, there was the idea of drawing down this thin line of godly revelation. This allowed for the nature of godliness, that it should be the drawing down of the lights into the vessels, and even more so, even higher levels, the drawing down of the infinite light itself in the vessels, to such degree that through the service of a person we affect that the line will also touch the bottom of the bottom of the line will also touch the Ein Sof. It's a graphic type of description. It's like it's at the beginning we said that there's this empty space, and you can imagine in this picture this empty space that's surrounded now by the circle of the Ein Sof, and you have this line that's at the top of that circle, touching that circle and coming down to the middle. Through the avoid of Torah mitzvahs, we cause that line to meet up, even the end of the line, to meet up with the Ein Sof, like that's on the bottom. So therefore, it comes out that the entire Kav and everything is filled with the Ein Sof, especially this physical world. Okay, so now he's going to bring an example of this idea that one prepares the way for something by initially having it prior. So he says, like the Rebbe Rashab brings in his Maimer, is a proof for this concept from the fact that we mention the binding of Yitzchak every day. And Rosh Hashanah we say that the binding of Yitzchak for his offspring, you should today, with compassion, you should remember. In the Maimer, the Rebbe Rashab from 1918, he writes an amazing expression. So he's saying over what the Rebbe Rashab says. The L'churim, seemingly, even generations following the binding of Yitzchak, and also in our days, we see that the Jewish people are offering up their lives for the sanctification of Hashem's name in a more difficult way than the binding of Yitzchak. Additionally, that's that by us we do not have the assistance from above like Avraham Avinu had an assistance from above. So seemingly, why do we make such a big deal about the binding of Yitzchak that we mention it every day and we make an emphasis on it on Rosh Hashanah? Seemingly, it's like Jews have done this throughout the ages, and with less going for them. So he says two lines in the bottom of the page. Who the idea behind this is, skip the parentheses. Avram is the one that opened up the channel of self-sacrifice. And all beginnings are difficult. As Hatzinor, from when Avram Avinu opened this channel, Harei Avoida Zu Kala Yoser. So then this Avoida is much easier. Going back to the topic of the idea of the drawing down of the infinite light of Hashem prior to the Tzimtzum. Through initially the infinite light of Hashem filled all possible space. Through that, we're able to draw down the infinite light before the Tzimtzum invests. Second paragraph. This is now we're going to explain what does it mean that the heavens are my throne and the earth is my footstool. The heavens are my throne and the earth is my footstool. It's referring to the service of the Jewish people and Torah mitzvahs in the time of exile. Like explained in Torah that the heavens are my throne that's going on the Torah, and the earth is my footstool, is going on three things. It says land, 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 or earth, earth, earth. Here, the words of Hashem. Gimel Pamim Eretz. It says 3 times Eretz, which they refer to 3 things that are called Eretz. Yisrael is called land. The oral Torah is called land, or mitzvahs, and the mitzvahs are called land. Meaning, so Shemayim and Eretz, you combine them now together, Torah and mitzvahs and Yidna Yisrael, Eretz Yisrael, that means Hainum, the pasuk Zeh, not Eretz Yisrael, but Yisrael, the Jewish people are called Eretz, not the land of Israel. The pasuk Zeh Koyal Avodah Torah mitzvahs b'chlolos. This pasuk is referring to the avodah of Torah mitzvahs in general. Shayada, that through the avodah of Torah mitzvahs, mamshichim Erein Sof Ba'olam, we draw down the infinite light of Hashem in the world. Initially, the infinite light of Hashem filled all possible space. By days of mamshichim, and afterwards we draw down through service. We draw down the level of the Erein Sof, because prior to that there was already the Erein Sof filling all possible space. So now we said that we have to go to the next pasuk in Daf Torah that we initially began the Maimah with, where it says the new heavens and the new earth that I'm making. We said the heavens and the earth, that's talking about Torah mitzvahs. So what's the new heavens? What's the new earth that Hashem is making? That's a total renewal. It's a totally new thing. This is the difference between what's being drawn down now through our Torah mitzvahs versus what's going to come down when Mashiach comes. What's being drawn down now is not a total new thing. It was already the level of light. Because the light was already there, it preceded it. The Erein Sof filled all possible space. So what we're doing is not really new. We're bringing something that was there before back to where it was. As opposed to when Mashiach comes, it'll be something completely new, what was never there before. The idea behind this is what we're drawing down now is only an inspiration from above that is inspired and awakened through the inspiration down here below, and therefore there's a comparison between them. There is a relationship. The values are almost the same. Similar to what it says, if you will go in my laws, then I will give you the rains in their times. And the rains doesn't just mean rains, but could also be read as your gashmis. Baal Shem Tov said, I will give you your gashmis. Meaning that what you have over here is a quid pro quo. An inspiration from above, I will give you the gashmis. Why? Because B'chais Telecha came about through your inspiration down there below. That is the way things are now. That's the Shamayim Kisi V'Aretz Adayim Raglei. But Avalosid Lavi, when Mashiach comes, Yom Shab B'chinas Yisrus Dole'ela Shalamayla Yisrus Dole'ela Nimshchad Yisrus Dole'Sato. In Mashiach's times, will come down from a level of inspiration above that's beyond the inspiration of above that comes through the inspiration down there below. It's how does it come down then if it's not anything we did, but there's the rule that Hashem only resides in a perfect place. So what we're doing is we're making the place perfect for Him to reside, but it's not that anything that we're doing can touch that level is going to come down. And now we can understand why it's a new heavens and new earth. It's different than the previous heavens and earth. Of the heavens are my throne, etc. So this is the new heavens and the new earth that I'm making. The loss of love, it's referring to the revelations of Mashiach's times. It's beyond the inspiration from above that comes down through the inspiration from down here below. Let's explain in Kabbalah. All the revelations now are from the Chitzonius level of Atik. Atik is an inner level of Kasher. And when Mashiach comes, the inner level of Atik will become revealed. And that's why it's called new. So that's now we understand not just Shemaim Kisi V'Aretz Adayim Ragloi, but Hashmaim Chadoshim V'Aretz Chadoshim. What about the next part of the pasuk? Kein Yam Mitzarachim V'Shimchem Mamshcha Charkach, and it continues afterwards. Kein Yam Mitzarachim V'Shimchem. Second paragraph from the bottom. That so your seed, your descendants, and your name will stand. It's referring to the service throughout the time and duration of exile. The Zarachem hu in Torah mitzvahs. The idea of your seed that refers to Torah mitzvahs. It says that you shall sow and plant for tzedakah, meaning tzedakah and mitzvahs and Torah in general is called planting. That's Zarachem from the word seed and planting. The idea of your name, that's the idea of the acceptance of the yoke of heaven, and it's the idea of self-sacrifice. And the pasuk promises, the Kain Yamid Zarachem v'Shimchem. So it will stand both your Torah mitzvahs and your Mesiras Nefesh and Kabbalah soil. The Gam Zarachem v'Shimchem Yamdu Bois Adargid Shamayim Chadashim V'Artz Chadash Ani Yosef. They will also be on that level of the new heavens and the new earth that I'm making. This means not only is the avodah present, the cause that we're going to have the revelations of the new heavens and new earth, now, like we said before, how does it cause it? If it's beyond an inspiration from below, because Hashem only resides in a perfect place. Therefore, it has to be the preparation of the service, so that this level should descend and come down. Even more so, also the avoid that we did during the time of Golus will also go up to the level of the inner level of Atik Yoimin, that's going to come down when Mashiach comes. So he says in the last paragraph, when you read these psukim in the Haftorah, then all matters come down in actuality. Surely when we make a bracha on the Haftorah, the oz ain't called Safik, then there's no doubt, no shadow of a doubt that what's being read will be fulfilled. Like the Alter Rebbe says in the Geras HaTshuva, that by making a bracha on something, we mean there can't be a bracha at all, it must be true. Especially when we're studying them both in the written and oral Torah, with explanations of our Rabbeim. Since the body follows the head, just like by the Rabbeim, it was such a way that came down in actuality. So too it's those that follow in their ways that are considered gufa, the body of the tzaddik, who's the head. Like the Chazal say, whoever is involved in the Torah, the halachas of the carbon oil, it's as if he offered an oil. You say them as even more so, it's not just like, it's not just with a chaf that makes it be compared to, but it's the same thing. How come? Why is it not just like? Since this is not something that he's doing. If it's something that he's doing, then you can say, by him it's not the same thing. But if it's done through Hashem, Hashem can make it exactly the same. Similar to what's explained in Medrash Tanchum on Pash Sav, it says whoever's involved in the laws of the Beis Hamikdash, this is the expression. It doesn't say over there, it's like, it doesn't say that. It says, Harei ein habayis chorev. So for him, the Beis Hamikdash is not in a state of destruction. The Beis Hamikdash is as if it's built up. Just like Hashem looked in the Torah and created the world, the Zohar says, so too a human being, a person that's involved in the Torah, makes the world continue to exist. That through studying these matters in the written Torah, in the prophecy of Yeshaya Navi, which is where this Haftarah is from, which is Navi Yeshua, he is the prophet of salvation. Kishma Yeshaya Moshe Yeshua, like his name is Yeshaya, and the word salvation and help. We merit speedily to the fulfillment of the promise, the Shemayim Chadashim V'Artz Chadash, of the new heavens and the new earth. So too your seed and your names will stand speedily in our days mamish.